Ziohen remained calm. All this was in accordance with his expectations. Cough. Ziohen coughed a little, and he spat out the blood that had accumulated in his mouth. Ziogener's eyes twinkled. He felt disgust. He was just attacked by a weapon that looked ordinary. In fact, he was using a special sword, the Golden Emperor Akashvajwala. Ziohen looked at Ziogener for a long time. He knew that Ziogener would not return it. He said lightly, "This thing was originally yours. Since you want it, take it back." After Ziohen's words, they left the stage. "Wait," Ziogener suddenly called out and asked, "Why? Why?" Ziohen had turned towards Ziogener and did not look back. "Seeing your intelligence, you must have understood that I wanted to vent my anger against Zioying, so why did you accept the challenge?" Ziogener expressed his doubts in his mind. Ziohen clarified the impact of Nalini Anrin's engagement on all three sides with his speech, which made it clear that he was a wise man. Ziogener believed that Ziohen would have understood that the reason for giving the challenge by Nalini Anrin was to express his anger against Zioying. However, Ziohen still accepted the challenge. "Because you were the one who gave this challenge. Although it was a challenge, but for me it was your first official meeting with you," Ziohen said lightly. Oh, Ziogener's heart, which had always been beating only for Zioying, began to beat unknowingly. Even though he knew that he could get hurt, he still came to accept the challenge. Ziohen's deep affection did not stop Ziogener from being emotional. Seeing Ziohen leaving, Ziogener remembered something and he immediately asked, "Haven't you used all your strength yet?" 6 months ago, Ziogener used the energy field generated by that unique flame to deliberately insult Ziohen. However, Ziohen easily failed him. Ziogener had always believed that there was a unique law inside Ziohen. In the recent fight, Ziogener had used his unique flame, but Ziohen did not. It was clear that Ziohen had not used all his strength yet. Ziohen had been soft on Ziogener. "What? Does it make any difference?" Ziohen did not give a clear answer. Moreover, the technique came out of the hall. Seeing Ziohen's unique form, Ziogener's heart was filled with mixed feelings. Because he had given this challenge, so Ziohen accepted it without any conditions and considered it like a date. Or, knowing that Ziogener would not back down, Ziohen stopped himself from hurting Ziogener with the fear of hurting him and chose to injure himself. In addition, for years, the one who loved him so deeply, for him to see him and Zioying together every day, how cruel it must have been for Ziohen. Or, thinking about it, Ziogener felt a sixth of sorrow. His gentle steps gradually moved forward, as if he wanted to walk with Ziohen. Jiazuner, a young man, blocked Ziogener's way. It was none other than Zioying, who was watching everything from outside the hall. Jioingjej Ziogener was a little surprised. After a while, as if he had made a decision, he asked, "Zioingjej, when we were not playing together, then a few years ago you came to my courtyard one night. No object used by him can prove that the person who was heating his nerves was Ziohen." "Yes," Zioying said with a little hesitation. He could not understand why Ziogener suddenly asked this, and replied, "A few years ago I came to your courtyard one night." Ziogener Zioying had made up his mind and said, "I will say it clearly. Yes, I like you. When you came to the Zio family, the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you. I did not know how to express my feelings. I tried to express my love many times, but then I was young and I did not have the courage. Once I went to your courtyard, but in the end I could not dare. Fortunately, later you understood my feelings." Zioying wanted to hold Ziogener's hand, but this time Ziogener opposed Zioying. His feet unknowingly moved a step back, and he went away from Zioying. "Zioingjej, are you saying that after entering my courtyard, you left immediately?" Ziogener then asked. At that time, when he saw Zioying entering the courtyard, he mistakenly believed that it was Zioying who was burning his veins. Yes, Zioying raised his legs even more, asked in surprise, "What happened?" "Nothing, nothing." Ziogener now saw Zioheng's distant figure consciously. "Ziogener, I am free today. Would you like to go shopping with me on the road?" Zioying invited. No, Zioangjej. I am a little tired today and I want to go back to rest. Ziogener did not wait for Zioyang's response. He left Zioyang behind and left the stage. At this time, Ziogener's heart was in turmoil. Until then, he mistakenly believed that the young man who had filled his veins with fire, he was Zioangjej. Just because of this, or even knowing that Zioyang was engaged, for example, when he touched Zioyu's feet and Zioyu ran him all over the mountain, then only Zioashuner chose to tolerate him and forgive him. It was all based on this belief that Zioyang was the young man who made a place in his heart when it was the easiest. Now, the superstitious belief was over. Suddenly one day, someone told him that he was wrong and everything was someone else. How could Ziogener accept it in his heart? After being together for so many years, people do not grow. The relationship between him and Zioyang had developed. However, today, seeing Zioheng go, his heart started beating again. Who will not be affected by such a devoted person who, even knowing that he will be sad because of this, will stand with him without any hesitation? Zioashuner's heart was really confused. He was completely confused. Congratulations, you have told the story of Dadian, and there is a stir in the heart of young Miss, which makes young Miss Ziogener's feelings for Zioyang. Award, 40,000 experience points, 8,000 coupons. Congratulations, your experience points have reached the required amount for breakthrough. Current rank, 6-star 2J then, as soon as the voice of the system was lowered, a wave of anger came out of Zioheng's body. He was feeling that his anger has crossed a new level. I am a 6-star 2J. Cough, cough. Zioheng put his hand on his chest and coughed a few times. He was very careful in trying to calm his mind. The warrior of the ancient dynasty, who has the golden Emperor Akash Vajvalichwala, had the hope that with his one blow, all of my internal organs will be injured. Fortunately, my efforts did not go in vain, and I got an area. Success. Guruji, you were really very careless. System Zio expressed some worries and said, if Ziogener had no hesitation and just wanted to vent his anger against Zioyang, nor did he really want to kill you, then you would have died in Yellow Springs by now. Humma. Zioheng nodded in agreement. This proved to be a boon in a way. Zioashuner's goal was only to teach Zioheng a lesson. If he had used the Golden Emperor Sky burning flame completely, then the present Zioheng would not have been able to tolerate the blow of his palm. Today's battle has also made my eyes blind. Zioheng said in summary, my level is clearly 3 colors above Zioashuner's level. He is 2 stars away from 2, and I am 5 stars away from 2. Our 2 GS are almost equal. He was able to compete with me for now. I only have one Huanglog red door technique. The one that will break the stone palm. Guruji, you don't have to consider yourself small. If you use Bone's spirit cold flame with the cleverness of absorbing palm, then even if you can't defeat Zioashuner, but you can definitely compete with him to the end. In addition to this, Guruji, you forgot that your strong right hand is still with you. According to Zio's prediction, if you use the power of your right hand, then until Zioashuner does not use the 2 techniques of the ancient Kulkigupta Swarga Shreni, the Golden Emperor Sky Burning Flame, then you have a 99% chance of defeating him. I know. Zioheng said sadly, the only thing is that Ziogener can get hurt in that situation. My heart hurts when he attacks his body. I, Zioheng, can't do the job of killing my future wife. So the master will like to hurt himself. Yes, Zioheng shook his head. Master, I have to say, you are very clever. What are you saying? This is called intelligence. Zioheng smiled and said, if I don't watch a lot of TV dramas, and coincidentally the last Zioheng did not have this strange shock. Forget about stealing, he had already collected everything. Otherwise, I would never have such a good idea to steal Ziogener's heart. Zioheng should have been thankful that if the last Zioheng's strange shock and Zioashuner's intense love for Zioyan had not happened, then Zioheng would have really had a headache in trying to spoil the story and kill the young miss. If there had not been a rebirth, then perhaps this mystery would have remained unknown. Last Zioheng. When Zioheng said this, he felt strange. He had met the memories of the former Zioheng. He was also the Zioheng of the earth and the former Zioheng. It was just that about that special shock, it seemed that during the development of the soul, his earthly soul had made him sit on the table. Disgrace. Although this was a show today, but his words came out of his heart. He, Zioheng, actually knew the intentions of Zioashiajuner, knew that Zioashiajuner wanted to vent his anger against Zioyan, knew that Zioashiajuner would not back down and would hurt him, yet he took it as a date. Fortunately, he got very good results from today's fight. He not only got a reward of 40,000 experience points and a rank, but also succeeded. But Zioheng also decided to acquire the high training technique. With the high training technique, a person's combat power can increase a lot. If Zioheng's guess was right, then Zioyan deliberately chose a meditation technique in the Road Technique Hall today, and when he returns home tonight, he will teach Zioyan 1 or 2 techniques. And this will be the 8 limits, which is one of the highest 2 techniques. Zioheng was also very fond of the 8 limits, 2 techniques. Thinking about the 8 limits, Zioheng became restless and he asked, if I use the divine power of the elimination on Zioyan, will I be able to remove the 8 limits, which he had learned from Zioyan? Gyurji, Zioyan is also a living being. Master Zioyan's soul can remove the earthly fire from the body, and at the same time, the 8 limits learned by Zioyan can also be removed from his body. However, there are many qualities in the human body, such as life, blood, vision, etc. Can the master remove the 8 limits? The technique you want to adopt depends on the fate of the guru. Ziohen explained. Oh, Ziohen shook his head as if he understood something and was surprised to ask, wait, Zioyan, you just said that you can also remove the life force of the opponent. Yes, in innumerable people, all things are made up of many qualities. These specialties can be broadly explained in the form of those elements that create things. The life force of any living being is also a special quality. However, whether the life force can be removed or not, it also depends on fate. Ziohen explained in detail. In simple words, there are qualities in everything. The point is that the system's extraction divine ability removes the uncertainty qualities. Which special quality will be removed? It depends entirely on the fate of the person. But Swamiji, System Ziohen continued the explanation for Ziohen and said, there is a very big difference between you and Zioyan. Zioyan is also not a fool. Even if Zioyan wanted to get the bone spirit coal fire back, maybe he would not have fought you. In addition, if you do not fight in a peaceful place, then once when Yao Lao has to force himself to perform, then you will not be hostile to Yao Lao. You will be killed 10 out of 10 times in a retaliatory attack. Your explanation is very accurate. But, oh God, Ziohen, the divine power can actually be extracted. Ziohen could not stop himself from getting lost in his imagination. If Swamiji could lightly touch a person with his finger, snatch his divine power and kill him immediately, then how terrible it would be. When Ziohen was so lost in his imagination, then suddenly he collided with someone. Raising his head, Ziohen felt very uncomfortable and he looked at the other person with doubtful eyes. Who are you? The place where Ziohen was present at that time, that was his basement. That woman had just come out of the inside. Her face was of the shape of a watermelon, and she was considered right. However, Ziohen found this person completely unfamiliar. His eyes met and the other person's face turned red. He did not have the courage to look at Ziohen and said in a low voice, Ziohen, I am Zioganyan from Luyang's Zio family, who has come to the head family of Bhutan City. Can you call me Yanyan? Oh, Yanyan, do you have any work with me? Ziohen asked with curiosity. Or Zioganyan was clearly a shy girl. She wanted to tell her purpose in general. Raising her head and looking at Ziohen's eyes, the words that had already reached her throat, they got stuck. She spread her legs, ran around Ziohen, and quickly got away from his eyes. What kind of drama is this? Ziohen smiled and he shook his head. As soon as Ziohen entered, Ziohen found that the maid was sitting on a stone chair in the open courtyard and was looking very sad. When Ziohen came inside, he said in a little jealous voice, Young master, a lot of people came looking for you and brought a lot of things. Go to your room and see for yourself. Things. Ziohen opened the door with excitement. Oh my God. Ziohen was surprised to see the things kept on the wall in the room. They were not things and nothing, but women's underwear. There was a love poem written next to many pieces of underwear. They usually talked about the fact that after seeing Ziohen today, their souls are lost and they are not even able to eat. In short, they were in love with Ziohen. Ziohen was stunned by this. Probably, the scene that was seen in the technical hall today made everyone misunderstand that Ziohen still has this strange hobby. And that's why, after seeing Ziohen's extraordinary talent, these beautiful girls started presenting their personal belongings to Ziohen to please him. Oh my God, what is all this happening? Ziohen shook his head with a bitter smile. It is said that people are as afraid of fame as they are afraid of being fat. This time, Ziohen really experienced the negative effects of fame. Perhaps, in the hearts of these Chablis youths, Ziohen had already become their prince due to his extraordinary status and talent. However, they did not know that Ziohen's standards were very high. Ziohen did not like to see any woman. Ziohen shook his head with another bitter smile and slowly shook his finger to create a terrible ice-blue cold fire. Einar, are you okay? As soon as Ziohen was about to light all these things, suddenly he heard a click sound from behind him, which shocked Ziohen. Ziohen turned around and saw that his mother was standing behind him. His father was also with him, and he shouted, "Father, mother, you have come." Hama, Emperor Ziohao and his wife shook their heads. Emperor Ziohao and his wife's silence made Ziohen feel uncomfortable. He looked at the things on the table. His face turned red with shame. How can he explain this now? Oh, as a man, Emperor Ziohao's face remained somewhat calm, but his wife's behavior was different. These were women's personal belongings, and it was a worry for him to see so many things together. How could she remain calm? Emperor Ziohao's face turned red with anger, and he said sternly, "Hainer, I know you have a special fondness for this, but can't you hide these things properly?" Father, since this had already happened, so Ziohen briefly said, "Your son has not stolen these things. These are given to me by some of the family members who are interested in your son. If you do not believe me, then you can see the love poem written on them." Did Emperor Ziohao really open an envelope with doubt? He looked at it carefully. Indeed, he got some expressions of contempt for Ziohen. Or, knowing that this was just a misunderstanding, Emperor Ziohao's face became a little soft. He asked, "Hainer, I have heard that Zio Junior has injured you in Akara. Show it to your father." Emperor Ziohao did not give Ziohen a chance to refuse. He held Ziohen's hand and examined Ziohen using his soul power. Divine power. Or, after a brief examination, Emperor Ziohao saw Ziohen with great surprise. "What happened, Your Majesty? Is the wound very serious?" Emperor Ziohao was so worried to see Ziohen's mother silent that tears began to flow from his eyes. He immediately asked, "Tell me, what kind of wound is it?" "An ordinary wound has come inside it. After a while, there will be no major problem." Emperor Ziohao's eyes were fixed on Ziohen, and then he asked, "But how is there such a unique wound in your body?" "What? A unique wound?" After hearing Emperor Ziohao's words, Ziohen's mother also looked at Ziohen with surprise. She asked, "Your Majesty, did you make a mistake?" "No, I did not do that." Emperor Ziohao said with a trembling heart, "There is actually a unique wound in his body." Emperor Ziohao and his mother had already known this, so Ziohen did not decide to hide it. He said, "Yes, I have a unique wound. And this is the real soul fire, which is in the 11th place in the list of unique wounds. As far as it is to be obtained, it is difficult to explain to him." Ziohen was fortunate that Emperor Ziohao found out that he had a unique wound, but he did not know that he had that wound. Emperor Ziohao saw the real soul fire in the 11th place with even more excitement. Seeing this, Emperor Ziohen shook his head and did not give any further explanation. He said slowly, "Leave it. If you do not want to explain, then I will not force you. Father, sometimes being such a father who cares about you and understands you is such a fortunate thing." Ziohen said, "I hope you will keep this matter a secret." Naturally, Emperor Xiaohao shook his brother's head with his heart. Unique wounds are priceless treasures for scientists. You are only 5 stars. If this spreads, then it will be a fatal danger for you. Wait, have you made progress again? Emperor Xiaohao was still examining Ziohen, and then he found out that the 2 Qians in Ziohen had already reached the level of 6,000 doses. Ziohen shook his head with a smile. Wow, in just half a month you got another star level. Really commendable. Emperor Xiaohao laughed at Ziohen's hand and scolded him. His heart was filled with pride. Emperor Xiaohao, full of a unique law and extraordinary talent, had been seeing him for 2 days when Ziohen would rise powerfully in the future. Take this. Ziohen turned his hand and took out a jug from his local ring. Ziohen picked up the bottle below and opened it. He found that it contained the golden creation medicinal pill of Btth. Bhutan was a small city, and the medicinal pills of Btth were very rare. Ziohen knew that the golden Shreni medicinal pill of Btth was an invaluable thing protected by his father. Father Ziohen had tears in his eyes, and he was a little emotional. You are badly injured. You will be fine in 3 days with this golden medicine. Emperor Xiaohao said this, and the image of Xiaoshunir came to his mind. He sighed lightly and said, Sorry, Hainer, there are some things that I cannot tell you. Xiaoshunir is not an ordinary person, so don't provoke him again. Otherwise, if you really provoke him, even your grandfather will not be able to protect you. Father, your son has understood. The youth of the ancient family is really extraordinary. But don't worry, he will not come to quarrel with your son again, Ziohen said in a low voice. Today, when Xiaoshunir realized that Ziohen is the person who nourishes his veins, Ziohen believed that Xiaoshunir will not support Zioyang or will not quarrel with him. The ancient dynasty, Emperor Xiaohao, was a little surprised. He looked at Ziohen with surprise. He had never told this to Ziohen, Xiaoshunir's real identity. But how did Ziohen find out this? Is it possible that Ziohen really had Btth and he was a divine calculator? He had heard that Ziohen had secretly kept Xiaoshunir's personal belongings with him today, but Xiaoshunir finally let Ziohen know. Emperor Xiaohao asked himself, if he himself was Emperor Xiaohao, then he certainly could not have done this. His son was really worthy of God. It was natural for Emperor Xiaohao to have this thought in his mind. Father Ziohen took Emperor Xiaohao out of shock. Mother, I am surprised that can your father help your son get the medicine? The face of Emperor Xiaohao turned red with anger. He was thinking in his mind that Ziohen, this spoiled son, after destroying his weapons, is now coming to destroy his medicine. When Emperor Xiaohao heard that Ziohen's maid Xiaohua had asked him clearly, the weapons for which he had given and the ones he had worked hard to collect, when they all came to Ziohen's house and then came out, they had all changed in the newspaper. Now, Ziohen was again asking about the medical supplies. Was this not another attempt to destroy his medical supplies? Are you also a chemical scientist? Emperor Xiaohao asked in doubt. However, there was a little hope in his voice. It is important to know that the profession of the 2 Queen Mahadevas was poor and prestigious. I do not know, Ziohen explained. I just want to try. Ziohen had the divine ability of extraction, with which he could extract the qualities of the medical elements, and also the divine ability with which he could mix the different qualities together. Ziohen did not believe that he could make medicinal pills with the power of extraction and the divine abilities of collection. Especially because only having money cannot be enough, he would need to purify the medicinal pills. Try it. Emperor Xiaohao's face changed, and he was about to scold Ziohen for wasteful spending. The medical supplies were expensive, and Ziohen was also going to use them. Did he really think that money grows on trees? He thought about the real atmosphere fire with Ziohen. In addition to this, Ziohen's talent was extraordinary. In the history of the least Zio family, the forgotten ancestor Xiaozhuang was extraordinary. Maybe Ziohen can actually become a chemist. Thinking this, Emperor Xiaohao asked, which medical supplies do you need? Ziohen waited for a while. He was remembering something. If Ziohen remembers correctly, then in a month and a half, Ziohen will not be able to medical supplies for the Foundation Establishment liquid, and he will have no choice but to take the Foundation Establishment liquid for auction to the Mythal auction house. Ziohen was not sure whether he would get experience points by investing in it or not. However, he had to invest in anything related to Ziohen. The reason was that Ziohen could not stay on the same mountain for 2 years. Within a month and a half, based on Yao Lao's recognition, the situation of Ziohen in the Zio family will gradually improve. Since he had already become an enemy of Ziohen could not allow Ziohen to increase his reputation in the Zio family. Ziohen replied, 3-leaf orchid, the older the better. 2-leaf flower, anyone can be according to age. Oh, I almost forgot, there is also a wood-based demon flower. 3-leaf orchid, the older the better. 2-leaf flower, a wood-based demon flower. Whenever Ziohen mentioned any medical supplies, Emperor Zio would repeat the name of the medical supplies. As a senior member of the Zio family, Emperor Zio usually participated in the market business. He knew that the total cost of all these things would be at least 1,000 gold coins. This was not a small amount. After reading the names of these medical supplies, Emperor Zio wanted to ask Himin Ziohen whether he was really worthy of it. However, as a father, Emperor Zio suppressed this feeling in his heart and chose to trust his son. Yes, Ziohen nodded, smiled, and said, Father, these are all 3-leaf orchids. Looking at your status, I am sure that you will get them soon. Emperor Zio shook his head. Although he was the 3rd son of the elder and a member of the Zio family, his monthly salary was not less than 700 gold coins. If this money is kept out, then it will be enough for an ordinary family to live comfortably for 10 years. However, only half of the medical supplies could be bought, Ziohen noted. This was the truth. Emperor Zio also intended to try his best however, this made him realize that Ziohen was his son. You rest first, I'll go to the market and see. Emperor Zio called out and then took his wife out of Ziohen's room. After saying goodbye to Emperor Zio, Ziohen looked at the gold coins. With a snap of his fingers, he lit a small flame of and burned all those ugly things. He did not leave a single mark. After doing all this, Ziohen just took out the gold-made pill that Emperor Zio had given him. The pill went into his stomach, and a warm stream flowed down his throat, which continued to nourish his injured internal organs. About half an hour later, Ziohen spread his body and thought to himself that this is actually the medicine of the 3rd body, which is worthy of being a gold-made pill. With just one shot, Ziohen's wounds miraculously healed. When Ziohen opened his eyes, someone came to meet him. Ziohua told him. Ziohen also said with a sad smile that there is no. The person said that he was sent by Shun Hermes to give you something. Ziohua told the truth and handed over the Jai's box to Ziohen in Zioshunor. Ziohen was a little shocked, and he picked up the box as soon as he opened a corner. The fresh smell of the medicine pill penetrated into his nose. Ziohen was a little surprised. Guruji, this is the golden creation pill of it seems that Zioshunor has come to apologize to you. Ziohen said that the medicine pill that was shining with light and was actually a 6th grade medicine pill, the golden creation pill. This girl, Ziohen, felt a warmth in her. She put the medicine pill aside. Instead of hurting Zioshunor, she thought it better to injure herself, or it was in the end. The attempt was successful. Oh. Okay. Ziohua placed it on the stone table and pointed towards the box of 18 Jais. When you were meditating, Guruji and Srimataji came here. They saw that you were meditating, so they did not bother you. They left it and went. The box was a natural medicine item. Ziohen told Shringer Zioha to find it out, and not just 1 set, but 3 sets. 9 paper-leaf orchid grass, 6 bone barking flower, and 3 wood elemental demonic core. It is important to note that the orchid grass was young. The orchid grass with brinjal was over 100 years old. Ziohan guessed that Shringer Zioha must have medicines in about 4,000 gold coins. Seeing these things, Ziohan felt a lot of love and compassion. Hearing that his son needed these medicine items, Shringer Zioha finished the request of Shringer Ziohan. Without it is surprising that this will work. Ziohan was not very self-confident. Now he had a strange fire, his soul had reached the necessary level, and he also had a wood-like spiritual world. He fulfilled all the necessary conditions to become a chemist. However, Ziohan had no experience of chemistry at all. He only knew that foundation establishment liquid can be purified with these few things, but he was completely unaware of the need to control the heat and other aspects. How could he do chemistry? However, Ziohan had the divine ability of extraction and collection. Ziohan was thinking that can he trust these two divine abilities to make medicines? It was Ziohan's personality to think. Ziohan stretched out his hand, and he saw a light blue line in his palm. It was very easy to purify the medicinal ingredients. All you had to do was throw these things into that strange fire. Boom! When a branch-leaved orchid grass was thrown into that strange fire, a light bubble of green smoke from the ashes came out. As soon as the moment flashed, the whole branch-leaved orchid grass turned into a clear drop of crystal-like liquid. After doing all this, Ziohan followed the same procedure and purified 2 branch-leaved orchid grass, 2 bone-washed flowers, and a wood-like demon core separately. Seeing 3 drops of liquid falling from various medicinal ingredients in front of him, Ziohan ordered, "Mixture." A magical gravitational wave emerged from Ziohan's finger. The 3 drops of liquid taken from various medicinal ingredients began to dissolve rapidly. A spark of light came out, and a milky white pill appeared in Ziohan's palm. Ding dong! Congratulations, you have successfully combined 3 different liquid ingredients to make a medicine pill, Neem Stapna Boli. It is a foundation establishment pill, or a second-stage medicine pill, which has a miraculous effect on a specific area of the body. It can increase physical strength, expand the veins, and increase the strength of the practitioner. Oh wow, he really joined successfully. Ziohan's intention was only to try, but he did not expect success. It was really a pleasant surprise. Ziohan examined the medicine pill in his hand. There were 2 very beautiful patterns in it. It was actually a low-grade medicine pill. In addition to this, it was a high-grade medicinal pill, or Lao Refined Foundation Establishment Liquid. But the thing I have tested is a Neem Stapna Boli pill. I am surprised how its effect will be. I have to find someone to test it. Hopes immediately began to appear in Ziohan's mind. Ziohan, what are you doing here? Zioning looked at Ziohan with doubtful eyes. After leaving his independent courtyard, Ziohan entered Zioning's courtyard directly with the medicinal pills prepared by him. As soon as Ziohan stepped into the courtyard, he saw Zioning holding a precious sword and meditating with devotion. Ziohan smiled and said calmly, "Don't worry. I have come here without any enmity. What are you doing here?" Zioning looked at Ziohan with full devotion. In the hall of the Zio family, Ziohan's extraordinary performance had shocked Zioning a lot. Later, if there was no fight in the courtyard, Zioning would not have known that Ziohan had already created 1 or 2 high things, the wheel of the fight, and had become a warrior of 2 or 3 areas. In addition to this, his rank had reached up to 5 stars. This was a big shock for Zioning. Perhaps in the depths of his heart, Ziohan unknowingly became such a personality that he needed to be praised. He was clearly smaller than him, yet Zioning had to respect him. Zioning was not completely sure in his mind. You said that you would eliminate Zioying in a year. I think you were not just saying, right? Ziohan asked. After his departure, Ziohan knew everything clearly. In fact, Zioning also liked Ziogener. For Ziogener, there was a fight between Zioning and Zioying today. In the end, Zioning said in harsh words that in the upcoming youth festival a year later, he would challenge Zioying and kidnap him himself. Zioying readily accepted this, and Zioning started waiting for him to be kidnapped. In other words, the story was still moving forward with Ziogener, leaving the gap of their fight. Zioning heard Ziohen say this and laughingly said, "He is only in the 4th stage of Dache now, but I am in the 8th stage of Dache. In a year, I will definitely kidnap him." "Innocence," Ziohen said calmly, "in a month and a half, Zioying will reach the 5th stage Dache. In 11 months, Zioying will reach the 7th stage Dache. After that, in the upcoming youth festival, Zioying's meditation will come to a great height, and he will reach the 8th stage Dache. In addition to this, Zioying also has a very high, profound rank. 2 techniques. You cannot compete with him. Even if you take the pills that increase Kai, you will not be able to compete with him. How is it possible to increase 5 people in a year? Zioning looked seriously at Ziohen. If someone else was there, Zioning would definitely make fun of him, consider him crazy or stupid. Who knows what will happen a year later, what is going to happen in the future? However, Ziohen had correctly guessed Nalini Anran's intentions, and whatever he said that day, not a word was wrong. Zioning did not have the courage to disbelieve Ziohen's words. Even by taking pills that increase energy, you will not win against Zioying. The debate had already taken place, and Zioning was very concerned about his honor. Many people of the youth generation went with Zioying and knew about his compromise. If he had not challenged him then, would this not have affected his honor? Where would he keep his honor? Zioning saw that Ziohen was not saying anything and said to the computer, "Why have you come here?" "I have come to help you." Ziohen smiled. There was always a slight smile on his face due to which it was impossible to recognize any emotion inside him. "Will you help me?" Zioning got even more confused and said, "How will you help me?" Ziohen took out the first pill just now. Zioning was surprised to see a second pill, the pill that creates Neem, in Zioning's eyes. Then he looked at Ziohen with even more suspicious eyes. "Yes, are you going to give it to me?" The disbelief in Zioning's eyes seemed even more clear. "Or is it right? Why?" Zioning asked with curiosity. "My enemy's enemy is my friend. I also like Zio Jr. "I don't like Zio Yan at all. Since you have decided the time to fight him, then help me to teach him a lesson." Ziohen found a reasonable reason very easily. "Okay," Zioning took the Foundation Establishment pill from Ziohen's hand and happily said, "If this is the case, then I agree with you. I will definitely teach him a lesson." Zioning found out from his inner knowledge that the matter is not that easy. The second-class medicine pill is very expensive. Ziohen gave it to him just like that, but there was no other reason in his mind other than this. Undoubtedly, he did not know that Ziohen just wanted to use it for the test of the medicine pill. Ziohen knew that the energy of the medicinal elements is very high. A small mistake can also cause the failure of viscosity and taste sense in the urine. In serious matters, the effect of the medicine pill can be reverse, which can lead to the death of the patient. So it was necessary to test it. So let's start. Ziohen insisted. "Now, yes, I found this medicine pill with great difficulty. I only have this one and I am hesitating to use it myself, so let me see you using it. This request is not much," Ziohen said emotionally. "Okay." Zioning did not think of doing anything to Ziohen and he said, "I will take this medicine pill now. If you want to die, then take this medicine pill. Seeing the power of your veins, you will not be able to bear the terrible effect of this medicine pill." Ziohen said calmly, "Go, tell someone to bring a cup and fill it with water. In body repair, the nerves of this area are very delicate, which can only be gradually strengthened with the portion of constant energy. They are unable to face the medicinal power of the medicine pill. However, Yao Lao invented the Adhar ghost medicine." On this point, Ziohen praised Yao Lao a lot. Following Ziohen's instructions, Zioning ordered his servants to bring a cup and fill it with water. After all this, Ziohen instructed Zioning to put the medicine pill in the cup and open it in the water. Then he ordered, "Go inside." "Oh, do I have to take off my clothes?" Zioning asked hesitantly. "Nonsense. Will wearing clothes have a good effect on exorcism?" Ziohen replied angrily. "Oh, this is not right. Why don't you go out for a while first?" Zioning looked at Ziohen strangely. Oh, Ziohen looked at Zioning and said calmly, I have seen whatever is on your body before. Stop talking nonsense and come inside quickly. If you keep delaying, I will take back all the cup and all the water. No. No, I will take them off. Isn't that enough? Zioning was probably afraid that Ziohen would really do this. In a few seconds, he took off his clothes and jumped into the bathtub. Ah, Zioning screamed. What happened? Ziohen got scared and his energy started running fast in his hands. Although Zioning was capable of an experiment, but he did not want Zioning to die. He was ready to break the meridian portion at any time. This is very comfortable, Zioning happily said. It feels like all the pores of my body have opened, and my whole body is feeling warm, like I am in the sun. Ziohen took a deep breath. Ziohen turned his eyes towards him in excitement with Zioning's sudden words. At the same time, the sound of the system was heard suddenly. Ding-dong. Congratulations, you helped Zioning improve in his meditation. Award, 2,000 experience points, 400 voucher points. The system is also a reward to help Zioning improve in his meditation. Ziohen was pleasantly surprised. Yes, but I am just using it for an experiment, right? Ziohen asked. Guruji, after a year, Zioning will fight with the main character Zioyang. When Guruji helps in improving Zioning's meditation, then he is disturbing the main story. That's why you have been awarded on behalf of Zaya Pranali, Zaya Pranali explained. Hey, the experience points I have received this time are also very low. This is not even equal to the 10th part of Ziomi's popularity, Ziohen said truthfully. Ziohen remembered that when he had received Ziomi's love, he had received more than 10,000 experience points as a reward. However, when he helped in improving Zioning's meditation, he received only 2,000 experience points. Master, the system was explained by Zio, or the system is Ajay Vinashakraja system, whose purpose is to confuse the stories. The more confusing the story is, the more reward you will get. In Dopo world, Zioning's rank is low. That's why the experience points he gets will be less in comparison to other characters. I understood. No matter how small the mosquito is, it is still a mosquito. Moreover, I am just using it as an experiment. Ziohen looked proudly at Zioning, who was nourishing his nerves in the bathtub. Ziohen felt that even if it was a reward of only 2,000 experience points, it was still very much improved in his teeth and in the cycle of fighting. He took a small step forward in his meditation. While bathing Zioning with medicine, Ziohen stayed there. He stayed close to the bathtub all the time. He was not playing the role of a protector, he was testing the medicine. Ziohen was worried about any unforeseen incident. The facts proved that Ziohen's concern was unnecessary. When the sun set, Zioning woke up from the bath. Seeing Ziohen next to him, he became very emotional. Ziohen's level of meditation was much higher than that, yet he acted as his protector. How is this? Ziohen asked. I have reached the peak of Dachai's 8th rank. Zioning was very happy and he said, this is what I expected from the medicine that established the name of Btth Shrini. After taking it twice, I have full faith that I will reach the 9th rank of Dachai. In 2 months, I have full faith that I will become a true player of Dajakshetra. Zioning's face was very excited. His performance was good, but it was very difficult to practice Dachai. He had been stuck on this level for the past 6 months and was unable to move forward. Right now. After giving his nerves nourishment from the medicinal herb melted by the Foundation Establishment pill, his meditation has actually reached the peak of Dachai's 8th rank, and it is possible to enter the 9th rank of Dachai at any time. It seems there is no bad effect. Ziohen saw Zioning from top to bottom. Now, while adopting the vision of Brahmaparagat, his first attempt at Rasyan Vidya was actually successful. Zioning happily put his hand on Ziohen's shoulder and said, From today you are my real brother, Zioning. In the future, whatever order you give, I, Zioning, without any hesitation, bow my head or blink, will be extinguished by fire and water. Do not worry, in a year I will defeat our enemy. The enemy that Zioning mentioned, it meant that it was naturally from Zioing. Hearing this from Zioning, a strange thought came to Ziohen's mind. Seeing Zioning's enthusiasm, perhaps he did not know that Ziohen was using him only as an experiment. Okay, it's getting late. I should go back. Ziohen bid adieu to Zioning and started thinking on the way. The use of divine power could only be done 3 times a day. This meant that he could make at least 3 medicine pills a day. However, this was enough for Ziohen. With these achievements, Ziohen had already gained the ability to control future events. In the next few days, Ziohen kept making medicine pills every day. Seeing this, he was very happy that he had fusion. Due to the divine power, the success of Rassian Vidya was 100%. Undoubtedly, in his curiosity, Ziohen also used the extinguishing function. The 3-month deadline had not yet ended, so he could not travel to other people yet. Because there was nothing else to do, Ziohen also wanted to know whether he could extract the qualities of the divine power and then combine them to make medicine pills. Ziohen's pointed finger touched the banyan leaf orchid grass. Congratulations, you have extracted strength from the banyan leaf orchid grass. Strength plus. After obtaining this quality, Ziohen did not choose the option of discharging immediately, but instead touched an ash flower with his middle finger. Congratulations, you have obtained bone-washing property from the bone-washing flower. Bone-washing property +2. Ziohen's middle finger also had a drop of golden water. Immediately after this, Ziohen's pointed finger touched the wood elemental devil's core. Extract, ding dong. Congratulations, you have obtained vitality from the wood elemental devil's core. Vitality plus, discharge, ding dong. Congratulations, you have obtained the medicine pill, the sleeping pill by combining strength, bone-washing property, and vitality. The sleeping pill, divine sleep. It has a miraculous effect on 2 different areas of the body. It can increase physical strength, expand the veins, and increase the energy of the devotee. Coincidentally, Ziohen found that using the divine extinguishing power was much more effective than using strange flames to purify the medicinal ingredients directly. In addition, the last medicine pill prepared was not of the highest level, but of the divine sleep, which was much higher than the highest sleep. Although the rank was high, but the use of the divine extinguishing power could only be done 3 times a day. To make a half-established pill, a 3-leaf orchid grass, 2 bone-washing flowers, and a wood-level devil's core were required. In other words, to make a divine sleep pill, Ziohen had to use the divine extinguishing power a total of 6 times, which took 2 days. Medicinal pill. In addition, the nature of the divine extinguishing power was uncertain. Will it be able to extract the necessary qualities to purify the last half-established pill, or there was still a question mark? Ding dong. Congratulations, you have successfully combined 3 types of divine extinguishing power to make a medicinal pill, the remedy pill. Guruji, you do not really need to make medicinal pills yourself. You can give them in return for the red medicine, said System Ziohen suddenly. Rape medicine, everyone who plays the game knows that it is such a pill that immediately releases vitality. The red medicine, Ziohen was surprised and asked, Ziohen, are you saying that I can buy red medicine from you? Yes. In addition to rape medicine, using the master voucher. The nature of this ability is uncertain. Will it be able to extract the necessary qualities to purify the final installation of the pill? This was still a question mark. One day. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have successfully combined 3 types of liquid drugs and obtained the medicine pill, the cure pill. Guruji, you do not really need to make the medicine pills yourself. You can give them in return for the red medicine. System Zio suddenly said, Rape medicine, everyone who plays the game knows that it is such a pill that immediately releases vitality. Red medicine? Ziohen asked surprisingly. Zio, are you saying that I can buy red medicine from you? Yes. In addition to rape medicine, you can also buy blue potion by using the master voucher. And yes, there are also skill books, weapons, and tools available from the world. Zio got a holographic photon template. A level 1 store was written on the top of the template. In the interface of the store, Zio got some very basic things. There were martial arts and meditation techniques. These came from countless people. However, the rank of martial arts and meditation techniques was very low. According to Doshin's rank, only yellow rank was available there. Farming techniques. If we talk about those weapons, they were only of yellow color, and their prices were more than the limit. The price of a half-gold sword of a yellow color was actually 1,000 vouchers. There is even a hue and glue grade in the store. Zio also had the existing shattering stone palm there, and its price was 10,000 vouchers. Looking at the current vouchers, Zio had 12,100. This meant that he could buy a yellow half-gold weapon or a yellow half-gold weapon. 2 techniques. Zio, these things are so expensive. You are the type to win by giving money. Zio could not help but talk. He kept browsing the interface of the store. Zio found that there were also medicine pills inside. However, they only had the medicine pills of the first half gold. According to the price, they were appropriate. Perhaps because the store was only level 1, so all the items were half gold. Zio also got the same red and blue medicines that Zio had mentioned. The prices were quite clear. The price of a bottle of blue potion was 10 vouchers. The price of a bottle of red medicine was 25 vouchers. These 2 items were the cheapest in the store. Blue and red medicines are very cheap. Zio was very happy. His self-confidence about making a change in the next event had also increased. Is the system Shia? Can this system be upgraded in the future? Zio thoughtfully asked. Yes, Swamiji, the system is Shia, he explained. At present, the culture of the system is only level 0, and the power of the open system is level 1. When Swamiji will work hard to upgrade the culture of the system, then higher power will be available. Things that can be bought will also be better. Okay, so how can I upgrade your version? Zio asked enthusiastically. Swamiji, when you will succeed in 2 areas, that is, your rank will reach the 20th level, then the culture of the system will also be upgraded automatically. At that time, level 2 system will be activated. When your rank will reach the 30th level, then level 3 system will be activated, and so on. What? To activate level 2 system, I will only have to reach level 20, which means it was very easy for Zio to become a battle master. The system was so full of divine powers that Zio felt that nothing that would improve it would be ordinary. But Zio did not expect that improving the system's rank and activating the system's power would be so easy. He just had to improve his rank. Yes, Swami, System Zio explained. System Zio is already connected to you. When you upgrade, System Zio will also upgrade at the same time. Naturally, higher power will be activated. What? The next few days passed without any incident. Zio was very happy and was meditating in solitude. Zio was also the same. After receiving the medicine given by Zio he used to meditate daily. As far as Zio Jr. is concerned, his mind was very confused and he was probably never seen outside. It seemed that he was escaping from Zio Yan, and now no one saw him and Zio Yan together. As far as Zio Yan is concerned, he continued to meditate in solitude and continued to give potions to his nerves with the help of Foundation Establishment liquid. It seemed that Zio family's youth was eagerly waiting for the PD college entrance exam. Everyone was making their meditation even more intense. It seemed as if everyone wanted to show their extraordinary talent in their youthful celebrations. Undoubtedly, there was a problem, and that was Zio Zio was already 6 or 12 years old, and ordinary meditation was too much for him. Other than making medicine pills every day, he liked to eat and play, and he enjoyed the sights of the city of Bhutan. I am counting the days. Tomorrow is the day when Zio Yan will enter Mithil Nalami's house. Although Zio was enjoying meditation, but he was not idle. He was waiting for the right time. According to the story, tomorrow Zio Yan will have no choice but to worry about money to buy medical supplies, and he will have to go to Mithil Nalami's house for the auction of Foundation Establishment liquid. If Zio Han handles it well, it will be an opportunity to gain experience. Mithil Nalami's house was Bhutan's largest auction house. It was related to one of the three major powers of the Gama Empire, the Mithil family. According to reliable rumors, the Mithil family had a marital relationship with the royal family of the Gama Empire. With the support of such a powerful family, it can be said that no one in Bhutan or outside Bhutan dared to conspire against the Mithil family. Seeing the magnificent and vast place in front, Zio Han entered a deserted alley. After making sure that there is no one around, Zio Han took out his already prepared black bag. He wore the mask of the cat's face that had won the lottery. A few days, the big black cat had covered Zio Han's body completely. His body was not visible at all. Due to the mask on his face, his facial features could not even be recognized. At this time, if Zio Han's parents were also standing in front of him, they would never have been able to think that the man covered with a mask and a black cat on his face is his son Zio Han. This time, Zio Han's goal was more straightforward, entering the auction house first and taking the jackpot in his own hands. Only medicinal pills could be used to spoil tomorrow's story. There were very few medicinal pills in the two Chimidweep. In addition to this, the medicinal qualities of the half-installed pill were very good, which were able to quickly improve the area during this could quickly develop the next generation. For any power, this influence was very great. If people come to know that Zio Han can create such a few things, then it will be a blessing for Zio Han and even the Zio family. Especially because Zio Han had a physical feature that the chemists wanted, yet it was only a 6-star rose. If his real identity is found, he will be very worried. In order to avoid these possible problems, Zio Han had no choice but to secretly move forward. Sir, take a look. Tomorrow there will be an auction in the Mithil auction house. According to rumors, there will be young players in it. 2 techniques. As soon as he entered the Mithil auction house, despite the chilling heat, he was wearing beautiful clothes and beautiful dresses. Young rank 2 technique. Actually, tomorrow the Mithil auction house will auction a high-ranking young man, Xin. 2 techniques, Powan Scroll Zetsu. It seems to be related to Zio Mei's sister's high value. Zio Han waited for a while. He entered the venue. The cold inside was exactly the opposite of the heat outside. After entering that venue, Zio Han actually saw the prosperity of the Mithil family. Mithil's venue was incredibly huge. People kept coming and going. There were also many strange clothes-wearing outsiders there, so Zio Han's entry did not attract anyone's special attention. When Zio Han found the Mithil auction house room, he found that it was closed. Being helpless, Zio Han had no choice but to return to the front desk. Hello, I want to auction a treasure. But your treasure auction room is closed. Zio Han's voice was low and hoarse. Without using any special technique, only by wearing a cat-faced mask, his voice could be heard by the mask itself. Even after hearing his voice, maybe someone could have guessed that this person is Zio Han. The Mithil auction house has gone on leave for some reason. Please come back tomorrow. The receptionist raised his voice a little. In such a hot and dark place, he looked really strange. But due to his professional nature, the receptionist did not see Zio Han with a bad eye. Please come back tomorrow. This is not right. Tomorrow Zio Han will enter the Mithil auction house. If he makes any mistake, then the time will be very short. Zio Han stopped, then asked, Yakushi Guni is here, isn't it? Take me to show my Yakushi Guni. You know the Grandmaster Guni. As soon as Zio Han took Guni's name, the receptionist was shocked and started looking at Zio Han seriously. Was Zio Han also an important person? No, I don't. Zio Han answered truthfully. So why do you want to meet him? The receptionist's eyes were a little disappointed. There was a little hesitation in his tone. To evaluate the medicines, Zio Han said sadly, do you evaluate the price of the medicines? The receptionist asked with a laughing excitement, are you a chemical scientist? Oui, Zio-hen shook his head lightly. He, the receptionist laughed. His laughter was a clear sign he thought that Zio-han was a thief or a cheater. After all, the profession of a chemical scientist was a prestigious profession. He had never seen a chemical scientist who did not wear a chemical scientist uniform in public. Chemical scientists are very rare among the two great men. Once a chemical scientist appears, even if he is of the first rank, he becomes the target of a fight between various major powers. Because of this, the personality of the chemical scientist has become very arrogant. However, Zio-han was so mysterious that he was completely different from the style of a chemical scientist. If the profession had not followed ethics, the receptionist would have considered Zio-han a thief or a cheater a long time ago and would have spoken to him politely. On the other hand, another blind-faced receptionist listened to Zio-han and moved forward with a smile and asked, "Sir, can I see your medicine pill?" Of course, Zio-han liked the friendly attitude of the receptionist. He handed over the medicine pill to the receptionist at the jacuzzi. The receptionist opened the broken box, and immediately a fresh smell of medicine pills entered his nose. "How fragrant is it?" The face of the receptionist's face has changed a little. He looked at Zio-han seriously. Zio-han may not know, but this receptionist was very important and desired to become a treasurer. That's why she knew a little about treasures. Surprisingly, she said, "What kind of medicine is this? It smells like this is a second-hand or it must be from above. Isn't it, Humma? Your mind is not bad. This medicine is second-hand and its name is Esthapna medicine." Zio-han saw this receptionist with some surprise. He did not expect that a normal receptionist's smell alone can tell the second-hand medicine. I have a good relationship with the treasurer." The receptionist looked at him for a while and asked with a strange laugh, "Foundation establishment pill? There is no such pill in the current medicine pills. I am surprised." He said, "What is the purpose of this?" "It can nourish the nerves of the body and can increase the dosage rapidly. However, it is only useful for seekers on the dosage level." Behind the cat mask, Zio-han's low, creaky voice came. "Is this useful for seekers on the dosage level?" Surprisingly, the receptionist looked at Zio-han and straightened himself. The second receptionist could not stop her laugh and said, "Sir, I think you should know that it is very difficult to practice on the dosage level. The nerves of such seekers are very delicate, and they cannot tolerate the help of the medicine pills at all. Otherwise, the nerves may break and die. They can only practice in an inappropriate way." "That's right." Zio-han agreed and said, "What you said is absolutely right. But my medicine pill is not in its medicinal properties. I have tested it and it will not harm the nerves at all." "What?" The blind-faced woman receptionist looked surprisingly at Zio-han. She bowed to Zio-han and respectfully said, "Grandmaster, only Grandmaster Guni can evaluate this type of medicine pill. Please come with me. I am going to introduce you to the Grandmaster." Guni, Hamma. Walking behind the blind-faced woman receptionist, Zio-han entered a reception room. Sitting in the welcome room, Zio-han turned his feet. After waiting for a while, the blind-faced woman receptionist wore green clothes and brought in an old man with white hair. A pot of karahi was placed on the chest of the old man's clothes. There were 2 waves of silver on the surface of the pot. In the light of the welcome room, she was making a sound, which was showing her power. "Grandmaster, this is the Grandmaster. Our friend, Guni from the Malami house. These 3 stars are Grand Roshi. Also, these are the medicinal properties of the Btth Shrani." The blind-faced receptionist introduced him respectfully. "Hamma." Zio-han shook his head. He thought to himself, medicinal properties are really rich. That old man was radiant, and his green clothes looked ordinary, but it was not. There were light waves of light on his green clothes. It was clear that this green cloth was also a special type of shield. After the introduction by the receptionist at the Grandmaster, the pride was clearly shining on Guni's face. And it was natural, too, because this is the Dachai Mahavid, and the medicinal properties here, whether they belong to any shrine, naturally have the feeling of superiority. When Zio Han was looking at Goonie, at the same time, Goonie was also looking at Zio Han. What a powerful device. This ordinary-looking mask gave shape to all my divine consciousness. Goonie raised his arms. His face was also a little serious. His great pride had also reduced to some extent. Goonie picked up the pot of tea. As soon as he smelled the aroma coming from it, his face changed again. He unknowingly looked towards Zio Han. By the time Goonie saw the pattern of the medicine bottle flowing clearly and easily, the face of Goonie had already become serious. Instead of evaluating the Foundation Establishment liquid yesterday, Zio Han offered the Foundation Establishment pill, which was already ready, a medicinal pill. Goonie did not take out any fine needle. Instead, he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, activated his mind cultivation technique, and started exhausting the energy from the Foundation Establishment pill. Clearly, a slight line of energy, which seems to be pulled by some gravitational force, came out and then settled in Goonie's body. After a while, Goonie put the medicine pill back in the silk box. His eyes were still proud, but now the feeling of respect was also shining in them. He told the receptionist, "The quality of this medicine belongs to the second shrine. Its medicinal properties are very good." What Dao had said before is absolutely correct. Moreover, while looking at Zio Han, Goonie said there was a slight praise in his tone, or the quality has gone beyond the current shrines. Its excellent pattern, its pure energy. It would not be right to call it only a high-quality medicine now. Could a high-quality medicine pill, despite its excellent behavior, have not been able to stop itself from expressing itself in the surprise of the blind-faced woman receptionist at this moment? No, it is not of the highest quality. It is of a higher quality than the highest quality. Goonie corrected it in a deep voice and then looked at Zio Han with excited eyes. "Do you want to sell this medicine pill?" A medicine pill that was better than the highest quality, Goonie was now not daring to estimate its value. Its final value could only be determined through auction. "Mom, isn't there an auction tomorrow? Come on, let's put it in the auction tomorrow." "Okay, no problem," Goonie immediately replied. He gave Zio Han a deep iron token. He instructed Zio Han to take it in his own hands. The auction of the medicine pill will be done in the auction room. Oh, and tomorrow someone will bring a Foundation Establishment liquid for valuation. I hope you will not accept his request. Mom, just give him 20,000 gold coins and say goodbye. Zio Han originally wanted to tell Goonie that he should first accept Zio Yan's Foundation Establishment liquid. But on the other hand, it seemed impossible for him to ask someone else to upset someone else for his own medicine. Tomorrow, Goonie looked surprisingly at Zio Han. He waited for a while, then started thinking what will happen tomorrow or no one can say for sure. He immediately replied, "Okay, I can assure you." With the Foundation Establishment pill, if someone also takes out the Foundation Establishment liquid, then there is no need to sell it in the auction. So I will come again tomorrow. Zio Han left the room in the middle of everyone's eyes. However, when he passed by the woman with an egghead face, he realized the good image of this always-ready receptionist, and he gently said, "This receptionist of yours is amazing. She can only tell the quality of the medicine from the smell. It is useless for her to remain as a receptionist." Oh, the beautiful receptionist looked surprisingly at Zio Han's back and murmured, "Grandmaster Goonie, is he really a chemist? Humma, with such a deep self-awareness, there can be no mistake." Goonie looked at the beautiful receptionist and said, "From now on you will value the treasure of our Niddle auction house. I have decided this." Oh, the beautiful receptionist looked at Goonie with surprise. Even after leaving Goonie's room, she could not believe that all this was true. She can only recognize the quality of the medicine from its smell. It is completely useless for her to become a receptionist. While going to the beautiful receptionist, the words of Zio Han came to mind. She was not a fool. She knew that because of the mystery of Zio Han, Goonie had made her extraordinary. Finally, she got a chance to become the treasure of Mulyankan. For the beautiful receptionist, this was just like a dream. She really felt that she had met a helper today. The next day, in the Niddle auction house, in the Mulyankan room, Here the liquid material has reached the level of Shrini's medicinal tablet. What the old man had said earlier was true. The chemist Guni told the result of his mulyankan in her voice. Along with that, she looked at the beautiful girl with a face whatever happened today was actually predicted by that mysterious person yesterday. Someone had really brought the foundation establishment liquid for mulyankan. The person of mulyankan age did not understand Guni's action. He took a breath of relief and in black clothes, looking at the beautiful girl with enthusiasm, smiled and said, "Your Majesty, are you planning to auction this liquid material? Can you decide the first time of the auction for me?" As soon as the old man was about to agree, Guni came forward and stopped in the middle and said, "I am sorry that this will not be this foundation establishment liquid is quite good. Our Mythal family can buy it for 20,000 gold coins." 20,000? There was an unsatisfied voice from the inside of the even if the production cost was less than 1,000 gold coins. It was still a remedy created by the foundation establishment liquid Yao Lao. The price of 20,000 gold coins was not less, but it did not reach the level to which Yao Lao was satisfied. In this regard, Yao Lao said sadly, "I can say that the foundation establishment liquid is extraordinary. Its real value can only be found through the auction." Guni stopped. He did not want to upset the Shiohan or Shioyan sitting in front. That's all he could say. "My friend, I talk to you openly. Yesterday, our Mythal auction house also got a foundation establishment pill with the same medicinal effect." "Wait, what did you say? The foundation establishment pill?" Yao Lao's voice became deep. "Yes. According to my years of experience in science, the medicinal qualities of both your medicines seem to be the same. Apart from this, it was not an ordinary medicine pill. Its level was above that of the medicine pill. If you have time, then I hope you will go to the auction house and see that medicine pill." There was a little truth in Guni's arrogant attitude. A medicine pill that is better than the medicine pill. It is really difficult to believe. We always thought that the medicine pill is the highest level. We did not expect that there would be a level above the medicine pill. As far as the foundation establishment liquid in your hand is concerned, if you sell it, we are ready to buy it for 20,000 gold coins. Guni guessed that the price of the foundation establishment liquid in front of him would be at least 30,000 gold coins. However, he had promised Shayahan, so he should keep his promise. "All right, take me to auction house number 1, Yao Lao agreed to Guni's request. The price of 20,000 was a little low, but Xiao Yan had a shortage of money at this time. After obtaining a black iron plate from Guni, Yao Lao reached the auction house number 1. At the same time, Xiao Han, sitting in the back seat of the auction house, suddenly heard the sound of the system in his mind. Ding-dong. "Congratulations, you have reversed the story of Danshan and stopped Xiao Yan from selling the foundation establishment liquid. Reward, 4,000 experience points and 800 vouchers. Then." As soon as the sound of the system became low, a hot stream flowed into Xiao Han's body. Danshan. His area had already entered the final stage of the first 6-star dose. "Oh," Xiao Han quietly licked his tongue. After so much effort, he only got 4,000 experience points. While opposing, he said, "Xiao, why only 4,000 experience points? That's the main character, Xiao Yan." "Master," the system explained to Xiao, "although you stopped Xiao Yan from selling the foundation establishment liquid, he still benefited. On the basis of the system's final decision, you are rewarded with 4,000 experience points." "Is that so? It seems I was a little too generous." Xiao Han withdrew the deduction. However, he did not regret it. Guni was not a fool. As long as Xiao Han does not give enough encouragement, the Mythal auction house will not be upset with any other mysterious assignment for him. It was still quite good to get a reward of 4,000 experience points. "Oh, Swamiji, Xiao Yan is here." Xiao reminded him. Xiao Han looked towards the entrance and really saw a person entering the auction room number 1 in the black market. Xiao Han understood that the person was Xiao Yan. If the foundation establishment liquid cannot be auctioned, then why is he coming? Zio-Han asked in confusion. I do not know. But master, according to the Danshan story, the foundation establishment liquid went into the hands of Zio-Yan's father, Zio-Jan. Then Zio-Jan gave it to Zio-Yan. Now that the foundation establishment pill has taken the place of the foundation establishment liquid, it is very likely that it will end up in the hands of Zio-Yan. Zio does not understand why Guruji made the divine grade. Zio was also very surprised in the form of a foundation establishment pill, instead of a foundation establishment pill. To be honest, if Zio-Yan gets a divine Shrenny, despite the foundation establishment pill, I feel that its quantity is still very low. Guruji, Zio still does not understand. Oh, Zio-Han took a light breath and explained. After fighting Zio Jr., I realized that at this time the technique is my biggest weakness. I need an instant training of a high Shrenny. 2 techniques. Today, Charam Patan and Jaywala Vibhajan Tarang Shastra are both excellent options. Zio-Han was completely mesmerized by these 2 techniques. However, to obtain these 2 techniques, I can only use the divine ability of Nishkarshan. If I use the divine ability of Nishkarshan, then I will have to establish a physical contact with the body of Zio-Yan or Yao Lao. To establish a physical contact with their body, the soul body, looking at Zio-Yan's alertness towards me, there is only one way to fight Zio-Yan. Now I am a doze and my rank is not low. Zio-Yan will naturally accept my challenge and will not hesitate to insult himself, so there is only one solution. First improve in Zio-Yan's meditation, then fight him. Finally, achieve the goal of obtaining his 2 techniques and meditation techniques. This is what Zio-Han understood. Absolutely right, Zio-Han nodded lightly. But Guruji, can you assure that Zio-Yan will accept your challenge after improving in his meditation? Who said that I am going to challenge him? Guruji, are you going to force Zio-Yan to challenge you? Yes, for the past few days, Zio-Han was not idle. He was thinking about ways to get a higher position. 2 techniques. The most advanced technique in the Zio family was Ugrasen Shakti, which was only of deep meditation. Apart from this, it was very special, and only the senior and chief could practice it. Even if Zio-Han had got this technique, it would have been difficult to use it later. Apart from furious lion power, he could only get a higher rank. 2 techniques from Zio-Yan and Yao Lao. Zio-Han had already understood this. After improving in Zio-Yan's meditation, will he be able to force Zio-Yan to challenge him? Or will it depend on how much Zio-Han targets Zio Jr.? The chief of the tribe, Zio-Jan, bid for 60,000 gold coins. Is there anyone else who wants to bid more than this? A sweet, soft voice stood in front of the hall, because no one is bidding higher than this, so this higher rank is fine. The foundation will be purchased by the head of the tribe, Zio-Jan. Without seeing any response, Yafei also stopped. He lightly tapped the small hammer in his hand on the table. The buyer was decided. The item written in the book is the original item of 35 Yafei, which has been certified and has been taken care of the confidential vocabulary. Yafei, a friend of the auction house, auctioned. She is also the owner of the auction house. She understands people's feelings well and is very open. She can sell anything at such a high price that you will be satisfied. Yafei extended his soft hand and pulled out the red silk on the people saw an ancient text on the silver plate. A slight blue glow was coming out of that scroll, which was easily visible on the silver plate, which was creating a mysterious feeling in an unbelievable way. The last item of the auction was the technique of meditation of the highest shrine, the wind scroll. Yafei's soft voice spread, and there was silence in the hall, so much that the sound of the pin falling could also be heard. All the guests sitting in the front row of the auction house were influential people of the city of Bhutan. Among them were the 3 great elders of the Shio family and the chiefs of the tribe. Zio-Jan, the chief of the tribe, Jayali family's Jayalibai, and the chief of the Ayababa family, Ayababa. All 3 chiefs have gathered here, all for a technique of meditation of the highest shrine, the wind scroll. All the techniques of meditation of the Xiao family were only of the highest shrine. Great lion power. The fact that Xiao family became one of the 3 great families of the Xiao family was due to the power of this great lion. 2 techniques. Medicinal pills were very expensive and were only used for a short time, while 2 techniques and meditation techniques were different. They could be handed down to thousands of generations. It was only a matter of time to become a powerful practitioner without the technique of meditation for a high-level dose. Without the technique of meditation, no matter how many medicines you take, you could not actually become a powerful practitioner. Young Miss Yafei, tell us the price quickly. Under the stage, a dose could not stop her from screaming. Yafei rose like a bird. A pure and loving smile came on her cheeks. She turned her eyes in the hall. Finally, she stopped for a while when she saw Xiao Hang. She winked at Xiao Hang in a mischievous way. He is really a clever woman, Xiao Hang said with a slight smile. Without scrawl art, the initial bid was 200 gold coins. It seems that there is an air bubble in Jiomi. Jiao Hang's mind became Jiomi's shadow. After being beaten by Xiao Han, Xiao Mi became more alert than Xiao Yan. 2 months had passed, and Xiao Mi was still in solitude. Master, you are not thinking about betting on it and then giving it to Xiao Mi, right? System Xiao asked. Mother, Xiao Han said while shaking his head, but I will not bet. The final price of this thing is 550 gold coins. I don't have that much money right now. For now, Xiao Han only had a little more than 200 gold coins. Approximately 200 gold coins were enough for the family of 8 members to live a carefree life for 3 generations. But here, it was only enough for the initial bid of a sadhana technique. It seems that I am still very poor. After seeing this auction, Xiao Han realized his real poverty. Master, if you are not betting, then are you planning to steal it? Xiao asked with hesitation. Xiao Han smiled, did not say anything. 230 gold coins, 240 gold coins, 300 gold coins. Facing the wind scrawl art, the price touched the sky. The voices of the bidders sometimes became fast and sometimes low. As soon as she saw, her price reached 300 gold coins. Yafei was actually an excellent auctioneer. She was passionate and devoted, and her every gesture and smile touched anyone's heart. When someone bid high, Yafei would give them a passionate smile. As soon as he saw, the person who bid high would immediately get excited. The atmosphere of the hall was alive during the whole process, in which the passionate Yafei kept covering her mouth and playing. 550,000. Finally, as Xiao Han expected, Zia Libai won the bid for this wind scrawl art at a high price of 550,000. The bid was over and Xiao Han turned and went towards the welcome room. As soon as he entered the welcome room, Xiao Han found that Yafei and Kimia Garguni were already waiting for him in the welcome room. Haha, is this the same old man who had introduced Divya Shrini? Yafei went to Xiao Han at the foundation establishment bill. A fragrant breeze played with her, and her soft, sweet, and passionate smile forced Xiao Han's heart to work hard. Xiao Han said angrily, Yafei was really an excellent auctioneer. He looked at Yafei closely. Finally, Xiao Han realized how beautiful Yafei was. Yafei was wearing a passionate red dress like fire, which was showing off her charm and attractive nature. Her long, thin, watery, beautiful eyes could easily spread passion. Xiao Han's face got warm. He had never seen a woman so delicately before. Fortunately, Yafei did not find any clue as she was covered with a black veil and little girl. Are you trying to fool this old man by standing so close? A sound came from behind the mask, which was Xiao Han's. Hee. Yafei was a little surprised to see the age of the masked man. She waited for a while, then laughed happily. King, you are kidding. By the way, Yafei likes to make friends. I am surprised that the king would like to have dinner with Yafei. I have no interest. Give me money, I have more work. Xiao Han said carelessly. By this time, Xiao Yan should not have gone too far. Sir, please wait a moment. Some procedures are still going on. Meanwhile, Yafei said with a smile. He was a little surprised to see his face. He was really rejected. Xiaohan shook his head and took his eyes away from Yafi. Yafi, this woman really won over Xiaohan's heart. Even without the system, Xiaohan would have made Yafi his own. However, experience told Xiaohan that Yafi was close and attractive, and she was also the owner of an auction house. Many men had fallen in love with her, but no one could win her till the end. What does this indicate? This indicated that the common ways against Yafi were no longer effective. Yafi had to show tantrums to win. There was only one way to leave a mark on the heart of a woman who trusted her beauty like Yafi, to challenge her self-confidence. Xiaohan was an ordinary man. At this time, his intelligence was telling him that the more he would be sad about Yafi, the more he would be able to win her heart. On the one hand, Yafi's eyes turned towards Xiaohan, and she was trying to identify Xiaohan through a subtle gesture. After scanning, Yafi was a little disappointed. Even by using his spiritual power, he found that she could not separate the unbounded area by the mask. Surprised, Yafi only asked slowly, "King, apart from Guni, there has been no reception from Btth Shrini in Bhutan. Has the king come from outside? Little girl, don't ask what you shouldn't ask." Xiaohan replied with a little courage. Oh, Yafi stopped for a while, but there was no change on her face. Like always, there was a slight smile. When Yafi saw that he could not find out anything, he did not give up. He did not find any useful information in his cold conversation with Xiaohan. Helpless, Yafi left the thought of questioning. He took out a crystal card from his smile and his clothes. The card had the symbol of the Mythal family on it. "Sir, this is the VIP card of our Mythal merchant house. With this VIP card, you can take advantage of the VIP facilities in all the business centers of Mythal, whether it is the merchant house or any other place. In addition to this, the commission on any item sold will be reduced from 5% to 2%. VIP card. This card should have been of Xiao Yang in his last birth. Compared to what Yafi had said earlier, this VIP card was much more important. He raised his hand and took it. Yafi was surprised to see Xiaohan's white hand. There was actually a young man's hand behind that old and hoarse voice. What is the real identity of this person? Yafi became even more curious about Xiaohan. At the same time, a maid came in from outside and gave Yafi a card. Yafi took out the card and smilingly gave it to Xiaohan and said, "Your Majesty, the medicine was given in a total of 60,000 gold coins. After deducting 2% handling tax, the rest of the amount is here." "Humma," Xiaohan said in a low voice. He took the green card from Yafi's hand and asked, "Can I go now?" "Hee, of course you can. But sir, if in the future you have any more medicine pills for sale, then please don't forget to hand over your work to Yafi." Yafi said with a sweet and loving smile. There was a magical attraction in his smile. "Humma," Xiaohan replied carelessly. At that moment his heart beat again. He thought to himself, "This clever woman is acting again. I will drop her down late in the morning and do whatever I want with her." Looking at Xiaohan's long back from the window, Yafi controlled the smile on her face and bowed on the chair lazily. After thinking for a while, he asked, "Guni uncle, is she really a chemical scientist?" "Ha," Guni shook his head and respectfully said to Yafi, "and his chemical science skills are much better than me. Forget about this clever woman. I can't even test a basic foundation pill, let alone a high-level chemical pill. This is impossible even with the formula of the pill. Can you tell me, where is she originally from?" Yafi asked with a smile while patting his short hand. "I can't tell you," Guni shook his head. He was also eager to know the identity of this chemical scientist. "Oh, should we send someone after her?" Yafi remembered all the recent events and felt disgusted. Despite his cleverness, he was unable to get any useful information from Xiaohan. "I advise you not to do this. The personality of chemical scientists is very strange. Chemical scientists are even more unpredictable in their behavior. This chemical scientist wears a mask and a black shirt to hide his identity. He does not want others to know his real identity. If he finds out that someone is following him, then he will have enmity with other chemical scientists. This is not a good thing for our Mythal Nalami family. And young lady, Have you forgotten a famous family in the Goonie reminded him in a hurry. Decades ago, there was a prominent family in the Gamma Empire. This renowned family was known for its strong presence in the Gamma Empire. Apart from the royal family of the Gamma Empire, perhaps some other family dared to compete with them. However, this family was very careless. They directly targeted the chemical formula of the chemical scientist Grandmaster Q. After this, they invited 4 powerful rocking warriors who completely destroyed his powerful family. After this, even the Gamma royal family at that time did not dare to interfere in this. The main reason for this was that chemical scientists could make such chemical pills that would increase the speed of meditation. Many powerful warriors were also eager to be grateful to chemical scientists. A chemist is not alone to be scared. Scaring is the power of a chemist. Looking at some nervous Goonie, Yaffe shook his head with despair and said with a sad smile, "Uncle Goonie, I was just saying this. Do you really think that I am so stupid that I should send someone after him? I don't understand why he wants to target another chemical scientist." Yaffe was completely surprised while remembering the instructions given by Undoubtedly. She could not have guessed that Ziohen had a system, and he could move forward quickly by putting a barrier in the story. Or Zioying runs faster than a rabbit. When Ziohen left the auction house, he found that Zioying had already left. "Gyuruji, you are being followed." While walking on the road, the system suddenly said this sentence. "Someone is following me." Ziohen was a little shocked. He turned around and saw, but he did not see any suspicious person. Could this be a person from the middle auction house? Yaffe lost his mind in Ziohen's mind. Yaffe was very strong and attractive, and she did not look like a stupid beauty. Who is brother? Ziohen quickly moved a few steps forward. Then he entered a deep alley. Taking advantage of the layout of the area, he hid behind a wall. And as soon as he saw, a ghost came behind him in this deep alley. "This is you." Ziohen looked at that person with some surprise. This person was completely covered in black clothes, due to which no signs of his face could be seen. This person was none other than the disguised Zioying. "You are the one who has sanctified the divine warrior." On the foundation establishment, there was a low voice of the old Yakushi from inside the black clothes. "Yes." Ziohen shook his head. He said in a low, hoarse voice, "Ban, ban, ban, ban." The waves of invisible descent from Zioying's body were rising. They were like the waves of the sea that were attacking Ziohen. "Eh?" The old Yakushi's surprised voice was heard from inside the black clothes. After using his spiritual power to investigate, the old Yakushi found that there was a powerful aura all around Ziohen. All his enthusiastic spiritual power had now disappeared. While tolerating this heavy shock, the voice of the old Yakushi became a little serious. "Who are you after all? And how did you get the pill formula of the Foundation Establishment pill? Do you want to know?" Ziohen's smile was very scary when he was disguised as a cat. At the same time, his body was moving towards Ziohen. As soon as Ziohen came close, Zioying got scared and said, shaking her head under the black clothes, "I didn't want to tell you before. But it's okay, because if you want to know, it's not impossible to tell." Ziohen said to Zioying. Zioying had blown the black clothes, so it was impossible to touch him. Ziohen came and said, "But you will have to shake hands with me." "Shake hands?" The old Yakushi's old tone was a little surprised. "Yes." Ziohen shook his head. A strange smile was seen under the black clothes. "What kind of pill is this?" Ziohen suddenly took this pill and the old Yakushi got scared. "Leave it. This is just a shake of hands and you have no honesty at all. If you don't even dare to shake hands, then why should I tell you why I have this pill formula?" Ziohen turned slowly, as if angry, and left. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. When Ziohen took his 4th step, the old Yakushi's voice came from behind. "Okay. I will shake hands with you." The old Yakushi was a prominent person from far away from the audience. What kind of storm did he not see? Either he just had to shake hands, he did not believe that the other party could have a move. However, the next moment, the old Yakushi was a little embarrassed. He saw that a beautiful hand had come out from under the black clothes. You. The old Yakushi was naturally alert. However, a bad voice came out of that white hand. Could it be that there is an old man hidden in the other party too? The old Yakushi wanted to pull his hand back, but it was too late. Ziohen's hand had already caught his hand. Take it out. What will come out this time? Last time, Ziohen used his divine power to fight Yao Lao using the Daowang experience card. After that, he took out a unique flame called Bone's Spirit Cold Fire. Now, using Chitrakari's divine ability again, Ziohen was eager to know what he could make here. A burning flame. Ziohen did not care whether he got the thing or not. Because of Sangyan's divine ability, he could completely solve the conflicts between various supernatural flames. In order to increase his meditation, he used his divine power to create fire. Ziohen was eager to know what benefit he could get from Yao Lao this time. However, one thing was certain. Yao Lao was a treasure, and whatever is taken out, it will be very useful ding-dong. Congratulations. You used your divine power based on Yao Lao and acquired 1 or 2 techniques. 8 limits of falling. 8 limits of falling is a high-level Zhuangdu technique, a Nitrodibali-Du technique, which is known for its powerful offensive power. When it is developed to the maximum extent, the hidden energy of the 8 layers is absorbed in its attack, and when all the 8 layers are joined together, it is called the 8 limits of falling. On the other hand, its power is equivalent to the 2 techniques of the 9th shrine of the Earth Shrine. Oh wow, I really got the 8 extremes collapse. Ziohen was very happy. Although this was not an Earth-rank low-grade flame-dividing wave ruler, yet the 8 extremes collapse affected him a lot. If the 8 hidden powers of the 2 techniques are kept together, then it will be equivalent to the 2 techniques of the 9th shrine of the Ziohen immediately ordered enthusiastically. Fusion. Ding-dong, congratulations, you used fusion. You acquired the knowledge of the divine power and the 8 limits of falling. 2 techniques, 8 limits of falling. On the other hand, Yao Lao moved a few steps back. His eyes were deaf and he murmured to himself, I feel like I have forgotten what have I forgotten. It's strange, why can't I remember? Yao Lao looked at Ziohen with doubtful eyes. He felt lost with just one touch. This scene was exactly the same. You are the same naughty Ziohen. Yao Lao looked at Ziohen in amazement. Last time, Ziohen snatched his unique and mysterious way. So far, Yao Lao has not understood how Ziohen did this. Do you want to know? Shake hands with me again, I will tell you the answer. Ziohen's puppet came from behind the cold laughing mask. Shake hands again, shake hands again. Even if Yao Lao had built his power on the 2 greats of his past life and faced countless storms, he was never afraid of anything. This time, Yao Lao was actually afraid of Ziohen. Seeing Ziohen coming towards him, Yao Lao got scared and was forced to move a few steps back. Yao Lao did not forget that Ziohen still had some secret skill that permanently gave him the power of war equal to the 2 limits of falling. Area. Undoubtedly, he did not know that Ziohen had used the 2 limits of falling experience card. For now, he did not have such an experience card, but Yao Lao did not know this. Yao Lao knew very well that he could not compete with Ziohen even with his own power. Escape. Ziohen was so strange that Yao Lao easily tapped his toes, climbed the walls, and disappeared without a trace for a moment. Oh. Ziohen secretly wiped his sweat. He took a deep breath and said, I am saved. Gyuruji, you were very careless. System Ziohen scolded him with concern and said, if Yao Lao had understood your move, or if he had attacked you with full force, you would not have been able to compete with him. Hama, you are right, but sometimes it is necessary to take risks in life. This time I won the game. Ziohen was very happy, and I also got the Ad-Extremes collapse. With the Ad-Extremes collapse, this young man was inspired by the knowledge of the Ad-Extremes collapse. He was confident that he too could benefit from the Ad-Extremes collapse, like the truth was what the system had said. Ziohen was taking risks. However, Ziohen was not taking blind risks. Yao Lao had no idea of Ziohen's real power. After seeing the last lesson and losing his attic stream's collapse, Ziohen hoped that Yao Lao would hesitate to attack him even more after losing his attic streams. Fortunately, Ziohen actually won the game. This Yao Lao is very careful. Otherwise, I could have used my divine power twice or even 3 times and gained more benefits. When Ziohen thought about the 2 techniques used on Yao Lao, he felt a tickling in his heart. Master, after this time, it may be even more difficult for you to gain benefits. System Ziohen investigated for Ziohen. We, Ziohen, nodded in agreement, not looking at anyone around.